Now listen, I'm entrusting you with the lighter there, Angus. You be careful with it. Don't set it off. Don't burn down the forest. You hear me? Don't burn down the fucking forest. Hi, welcome to camp. This is the second time I'm filming this video because the first time I had the gain on this microphone way too high and it ruined everything and I couldn't fix it. And I tried so hard and I couldn't fix it. So we're out here still. And I'm still recording. And I wanted to go back inside. But I'm still here. I threw my little notes sheet in the fire at the end of my last recording of this as like a final thing of like, we're done with the video. I can get rid of my notes. So now I don't have my notes anymore. But yeah, let's talk about a thing. Is it just me, or does all music on TikTok sound the same? Obviously, I'm kind of joking there. I know that this is an issue that's been covered in depth by several creators on YouTube and TikTok, both. Mostly in the pop world, though, and I wanted to address it kind of from the folk, Americana, and country realm, because that's something I'm more familiar with, and that's kind of the world that I'm in. So the issue, as I see it, is very similar, if not exactly the same, as the one that's been happening with kind of pop music on TikTok. And it's just this sameness, right? And I think what's happening is that a few artists will hit on one or two formulas that work for them and that get them a lot of success. And what'll happen from there is that other artists will pick up on the fact that those formulas worked and they'll just copy those formulas whole cloth. And what happens is kind of just this homogeneity of music where everything sounds the same, right? So the two kind of formulas that I've noticed on TikTok in terms of style for Americana, folk, and country music is this sort of like raspy, crunchy Lumineers, Passenger kind of vocals.
Arizona, California, Kamikaze, Trader Joe's, Anasazi, Anunnaki, Kawasaki, kitchen clothes. I think it's time I pack up and move somewhere that no one knows. When my depression works the graveyard shift, all of the people I've ghosted stand there in the room.
As you get into the country world, it sounds a little bit more like Tyler Childers.
And a cold, cold feeling crept through his bones. We found a nose at the bottom of the stairs. Said, I'm in love with your brother. Oh, I found a preacher. I'm in love and I'm heading for the south.
And then there's the second formula where it's like a nice, soothing, like airy, spacey, sort of Phoebe Bridgers sounding vocal over some like acoustic finger picking or what have you.
Who I was 3 years ago would have a crush on me today. She takes secret videos from the back of the house while I'm on stage.
You like the way I listen, thanks, I made it just for you. A perfect calculation of which muscles should be used.
Could we live in this tangled mess forever? They can pull our bodies out when they're old and weathered.
And it's all starting to sound the same, right? So why is this an issue? Well, I think it's an issue for a number of reasons. First and foremost is that it just cheapens the uniqueness of the artists that are being impersonated, basically. There's a uniqueness and an originality to the style with which Wesley Schultz of the Lumineers sings, right? It's a very unique voice, and he's got a really kind of like recognizable sound. Same goes for like Tyler Childers. He's got this very yelpy, raspy, borderline yodel that he does. That's almost like a coyote. I would describe him as like a coyote, basically, right? And then, of course, Phoebe Bridgers has a very recognizable vocal style. And so people are trying to imitate these sorts of styles, right? And it's not fully getting there. You don't fully sound like Tyler Childers or Wes Schultz or Phoebe or whoever. So I think what happens when people start to sort of consciously or unconsciously imitate an artist is that the originality of that artist is sort of undermined, you know? They become less unique, and it just sort of cheapens that artist and their style, you know? And it just sucks for them. It sucks for those artists who kind of pioneered those styles when you're trying to copy them exactly, you know? It subtracts from them, and I don't think that's necessarily fair. Another issue is that you just like get tired of that style of music, right? Which sucks for me in particular, because I love the Lumineers, I love Tyler Childers, I love Phoebe Bridgers. Those are like three of my favorite musical artists at the moment. And it's just sort of annoying to me when, you know, I'm seeing a bunch of songs that all sound the same in that style. Usually it's kind of a Lumineers-y style, right? But like I hear a ton of this style of music and I just get fucking burnt out on it. And it's not because I don't like it, because again, like I said, I love that style of music so much. But I get burnt out on it, and then I don't want to listen to the Lumineers, or I don't want to listen to Tyler, or I don't want to listen to Phoebe, or I don't want to listen to, you know, whoever else in that kind of school of Americana music. And it's just really a shame, you know? It feels bad to not want to listen to music that I like. But I don't have the energy for it anymore, you know? And the third thing, and this is more of like a personal issue that I have, but I still wanted to talk about it, is excuse you. What the fuck, man? God, in my face? Fuck. Alright, we're gonna talk through the smoke. For me and my music, I've noticed that this trend of, you know, borderline imitating established artists like this is seeping into my own music making and seeping into my own songwriting. And I'm making less interesting creative decisions because part of my brain wants to just like stay in line with the trend, right? And I don't want it to be that way. I want to be making these interesting choices that I've made in the past, you know, but it part of me doesn't want to do that. So I end up writing all these songs that have the same alternating bass line and the same kind of cowboy chords. And, you know, they're good songs. I don't want to say that, like, I'm writing shitty songs, because I'm not. But I'm noticing myself slipping into this pattern where a lot of my stuff is starting to sound the same. And I don't want that to be the case. But, you know, it's becoming sort of reflex at this point. It's becoming something that I can't really control unless I'm like keenly aware of it. I want to address another thing, an argument that may pop up, which is that you know, maybe these people on TikTok are kind of in the middle of discovering their own styles and in the middle of sort of figuring out what their sound is, and that's totally valid. You know, I'm not going to argue with that take at all, because I know that for me personally, when I was, you know, figuring out my own style, I did a lot of imitating other artists, because I didn't learn singing, you know, by classical training. I didn't, you know, take guitar lessons or anything like that. I learned from listening to other musicians, and by, you know, kind of copying them and sort of interpolating all this stuff that I learned from them until it became such a jumble of other shit that, you know, it's not recognizable as like, oh, this sounds like so-and-so, or this sounds like, you know, XYZ. It's a mishmash of so many different styles that it kind of becomes my own style, and that's how music works a lot of times, you know. But along the way, you inevitably will sound like somebody else, and usually that's the artist or the couple of artists that most influence you. You know, I know that back when I was just beginning to write songs and to sing, I, not on purpose, but I sounded a lot like Ron Pope, right? And I didn't mean to do that. I wasn't consciously being like, I'm gonna sing exactly like Ron Pope. But because I was like fucking 14, and for whatever reason Ron Pope was the artist that I was listening to most, his vocal style rubbed off on me, and I ended up singing a lot like him. Not as well as him, because I was 14, but, you know, there was a clear resemblance there. And then, you know, a little later, when I started to kind of get into the sort of Americana world, I ended up doing a lot of unconsciously kind of impersonating like Marcus Mumford, and that happened for a while, and it was bad. You know, I even put on like a fake British accent and shit like that. You know, it sucked. But, you know, I think that's part of finding your style, and that's always going to happen, you know? So if that's what's going on behind the scenes with these TikTok musicians, more power to them. I hope that they continue on their creative journeys, and I hope that they eventually find a style that they are comfortable with. But as it is, we don't have that context. You know, we don't know what's going on with them and their sort of musical journeys. So taking this as its own isolated thing, as just the trend without context, it kind of sucks, you know, to hear the same type of shit over and over again every day on TikTok. You know, I'm kind of bored. And that's kind of the long and short of it. It's just kind of boring. Log break. I wanted to not leave this video off on like a downer. So I wanted to say that if you like any of the artists that I've you know, shown clips of throughout the video so far, go and check them out. They're all very talented people. I don't want this video to seem like I'm shitting on these individual artists. I don't have a gripe with any of them. My gripe is with the trend itself. All of the people involved in it like that aren't bad people. You know, they're all very talented musicians in their own rights. You know, I love Benjamin Dakota Rogers. I love Kevin Atwater. I love Olive Plug. You know, all these people are very, very good artists. And just because I have them as examples of this phenomenon doesn't mean that they're not talented. I think they're very talented. But yeah, so to end off the video, I wanted to show off some artists that I think are doing some really cool and unique stuff in the folk, Americana, and country world on TikTok. And I'll leave it there.
Say wantonly, say dantonly, say dantonly. He's thinking about Brandy as he reached the 12 steps. He can't help but wonders if he can't help that. But time's getting thin, it's hardly been eaten, but it'll have some pound cake, Wednesday evening.
It's just 2 hours to get there, babe. I can make it back by an hour or so.
These days I've been lying about my age, pretending I'm older, worse for people stay away. Lately I've been coming on too strong to men I never seen before and won't see me for long.
So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you want to. And you can check out my music on Bandcamp, on Apple Music, on Spotify, on Amazon Music, YouTube Music, all that shit. And let me know in the comments if you like this kind of thing. You know, this is a brand new style of video for me, obviously. I've never done this before. But let me know if you enjoy it, and let me know if you want more of this type of thing in the future. Obviously, I'm probably not going to be sitting outside for all of them, but, you know, let me know if you want more videos of me, like, talking about stuff that I'm passionate about like this. And let me know if you don't like it. I mean, be nice about it, but, you know, if you don't like this type of thing, let me know, and I'll figure some other stuff out. But, you know, for right now, this is kind of something that I'm enjoying, so I'm probably going to put out a few more videos of me just talking about stuff, probably music related, but, you know, who knows. But yeah, that's about it. Have a good day. Bye. My foot's asleep. I'm done.